Now that the bowl has been completely turned on the inside and we're happy with the result, we can start sanding it with some sandpapers and the help of the lathe. To ensure a really nice polished surface once we apply oil in the end, we need to leave the surface as smooth as possible. For that, we need to sand the bowl with all the sandpaper grade as possible. For this project, we need to use grids 100, 120, 180, 220, 320, 400, 600, 1000, 1200, 1500, 1800 and 2000 sandpaper, and we need to sand them in that order. So turn the lathe and sand against the movement. At first, you might not feel the paper is hot, but the finer the paper you're working with, the hotter it gets since it's making more friction with the wood. To avoid any burns, I suggest you put on some gloves while sanding the bowl. Once you finish with all the grid sandpapers, use the same leftovers of the bowl to give it a nice last sanding. This will leave your wooden piece smooth and ready for the oil. We'll be using some Danish oil. This oil has some resin and feels sticky when applied. So I suggest you use some latex gloves and a brush to apply it evenly on the surface. When you're happy with it, we can continue to cut and remove the bowl from the lathe and finish the outer part in the next lesson. Removing the bowl from the lathe is quite simple, and you can actually do it in two ways. The first one is using the lathe itself to cut the bowl from the wood that holds it in place. You can use your cutter and gently start removing material until the bowl comes loosened. If you plan on doing this, I suggest you remove material from behind the cut so you have enough space between the bowl and the wooden plank to not harm the bowl with the cutter, as you can see here. Also, when you're getting close to separating the bowl from the lathe, you might want to hold the bowl with one hand and the cutter with the other, so when it comes loose you can grab it and doesn't go flying and gets damaged. Another way to remove it is to use a handsaw and carefully separate the bowl from the wooden plank. In the next lesson, we'll sand the back part of the bowl where it was glued to the wooden plank.